Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here, day one of the challenge, the Daily Creative Challenge. So there are going to be today, and followed by this, eight more days of challenges. So a lot of really cool stuff lined up for you. Before I jump in, I just want to say hi to everybody that's joining us in the stream. Can't wait to hear where you're joining us from. We're in San Francisco today in the Hooper Studios. Really excited to get this day started. So I got a lot of stuff to do. So I'm going to jump into my screen just to kind of give you a quick overview of what to do and where to find these challenges. So you want to be on the behance.net/challenge/XD. Hi from Athens, Mikal. We are hopefully you're signed in already, but you can join in here. This is going to be your action button to join the challenge, and then you'll receive your challenges, which should be there now. So if you scroll down to February 4th, you're going to see the Get Started file, and then, well, you're not going to watch this video because you're watching this now, but you can get the file here really quickly by downloading it. So what you should have is this, which is our template. So you might not have this because this is for me to remind myself what I'm doing today. So this is day one of the challenge. It's Tuesday, the 4th. Can you believe we're in February? I can't. It's like this January was just really crazy. So I'm really happy to be in February. What's up, Cornelian? Good to see people and familiar faces and names. I just really excited to do this. So let's jump in. What is today's challenge? Well, we are going to be designing an interactive wall calendar. For me, the theme of this is just to kind of, I want to just show this to you as well. The theme of this week is design your environment. And what I want to challenge you to do is just don't look too far away from where you live and what your current surroundings and environment is. We all have needs that are specific to us. So like sometimes designing for yourself is okay. So you want to design for yourself and your environment. So reimagine your home by designing interfaces to promote healthy habits, mindfulness, and well-being. And for me, one thing that I struggle with, because I have a family and we have calendars, and I sometimes forget what day it is. So I want to share my struggles with that. So designing an interactive calendar is what we're doing today. So we're going to use the iPad Pro size. And some of the things I want you to keep in mind are using something called content-aware layout. This is the newest feature from XD, and it's going to allow us to create more space that's just consistent throughout your design, and just have a lot of really more cohesive control over your elements. So some of the inspiration that I want to use as far as visual is something like simplistic and some like illustrations, and then also thinking about like what needs to be like on a calendar, like what's important. So these are some things that I found that were really helpful. I also want to point out that there are some interaction design principles to keep in mind and to consider. So consistency and aesthetics. These are links that you can copy and paste. I've already have them up. So like, what is the Gestalt principle? And understanding that psychologically, like we are tuned to liking things that are on a grid. We find things more appealing with spacing. So just by understanding the principles of Gestalt, you can design really compelling things with really minimal design. So that's a really good read. If you are interested, just go and dive into that. And then consistency, just understanding that throughout your design, this consistency is going to really glue everybody to the experience. So these are some interaction design principles that I felt were relevant to share. So if you're interested in reading those, please go ahead and do. And then if you're interested in learning more about the tool itself, hop on over to Howard Pinsky's wonderful letsxd.com. And that way you can get some updates on the current features and how to use them. They're just really great snippets on how to use XD. The other thing that we have is our great Discord channel for our conversations and our all of our designs. So if you hop into the current challenge, I'm here. Look, so excited to start the Daily Creative Challenge. So this is where we want to go to get your projects submitted and get work in progress reviews. Where do you get the links? The links aren't active links, but once you download this XD file from from the projects in your Behance, then you'll be able to copy and paste these into your browser. So that is, I hope, what you're asking. And then there's other resources for you on this document too, for you to just know more about the product and about XD, the icons we use, and tutorials and stuff. I'm gonna jump right into it. So I don't have too much time, so I wanna make sure to create something in the amount of time for this stream. So I have a plan here, right? So this is the important part to know is, although it is a creative challenge, like there's a little planning that goes involved. So I have a little plan here to do. So I know I need a default state. I know I need a month view, and I know I want a split view. So hopefully I can get to this. But for sure, I need to understand what a default state of an interactive calendar looks like. And if I go over to here, I'm kind of I want to do something that's more minimal upon the initial glance. Because one of the things is when you see a calendar, if it's overwhelming, it could just confuse you and you don't want to look at it. So I like simplistic things. So I'm going to try to design something that is a little bit more simplistic, but then you can make it a little bit more intricate as you use it. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them into the chat. I'll do my best to answer them, but I'm going to get going. So I do have one thing that I brought in, and it's an image. I really recommend using the resources available in XD, and one of them that I think is just awesome is Adobe is the using the library, which also then you can get from stock images. So I have a stock image that I found. Let's see here, 2D color transitions. So I just found this on and I wanted to like have an image. So I kind of hacked together this image by pulling apart aspects of this, and they're vectors, so you have full control over all these files. So then I just kind of hacked together this kind of thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that as my main image. So go ahead and pull that up. I'll just copy it. I'm gonna put it in here. So we're starting, we're going in, we're just doing it. The next thing that I know is, so I've already kind of predetermined some typefaces that I'm going to use. I'm using character styles. Don't feel like you need to. I'll get into that in another lesson. But these are the typefaces that I want to use for my project. So I know that for the default state, I need to have a date, right? That's very, very obvious. So today is I always get weirded out spelling February because it's just weird. So February, and then some just basics, right? Today is the 4th. I'm gonna do 04. And the next is, I need to know it's Tuesday, because that's something that I struggle with. It's just, what day is it sometimes? And then, let's see, I have to have a button, month button, so I need to be able to go into a full month view. So let's look at maybe create a button real quick. And this is gonna be using, for this button, I'm gonna be using the content aware, so you can kind of see how that works. So I'm just gonna make a rectangle, height 60, sure. Let's see how this looks right now. And for this button, I'm gonna add text. So I wanna be able to tap a button and go to a month view, and just so I can see a month calendar, not just a highlight, right? So month, and then I'm gonna change sizes, so don't worry, let's see. And then this button, I'll make it round. I'm gonna do a 2-point, and this is changing your border size. And so if I'm moving too fast, don't worry, you can always go back and watch this. So if you're a beginner, this might be, I might be moving a little fast for you, and that's okay. Because it's really just communicating what is possible with this tool. And you can always go back and watch this later when you're a little bit more developed as a designer. So I'm gonna group this object. So now that I have these two things made, now with content aware layout, it does something really cool. So I'm gonna group them, and now I have this padding option on the side here. So padding now gives me more flexibility with what is on top, to the left, below, and to the right. So I have 32 pixels on this side, 32 pixels on this side. So that's, for me right now, that might not seem like a really big deal, but if I wanted to make the button bigger, if I wanted to give the button more padding, I could do that, right? And so I'm gonna make this a little smaller. So that looks good. And now what I want to do now is make another one. And I want to have a create new. So this is where you're going to see some flexibility of this. So create. And so I want to be able to create a new event, and that can like, I might not be able to prototype that now, but it's something that calendars should have, an interactive calendar at least, be able to add events. So something that's really cool about this new feature is being able to add in shapes into this design. So I can just drag this component that I have like a plus button in here, and it keeps the same padding, which is really cool. Let me just change the color of this. 3. So it keeps the padding, and now I can just move that along. See that? Pretty cool. So then I think the padding is a little too much on this side, so I can then go back to this and reduce it. So that's just basics on how to use the new content aware layout. It's really cool for anytime you want to make sure the spacing doesn't get lost with your redesigns. Okay, so we have a few things there. We need to add more information here. So let's go see, what did I need here? Yeah, so I'm just looking at the chat, see what you guys are saying. Yeah, so all these streams are recorded, so you can always go back and look at them. I think that's just a really cool thing about it. It's an artifact forever, so you can go explore it. So I need an add new button. I got that. Upcoming events. Okay, let's get that in. So, and this is, I'm using this typeface right now, but I'll style it up in a second. Upcoming events. All right, and then say, I should have like a little, you know, like your events calendars usually have different types of calendar types, like family or to-dos or things like that. So I'm just gonna create a little circle here, give it a color. Let's see, I like a blue maybe, but let's do something cool. Let's do like a gradient on it, right? Make it look a little fancy. A gradient, maybe put this one a little bit more like a, actually I like the linear. I like linear gradients. So something like, just something a little, give it a little bit of personality there, right? That's cool. All right, so now I want to change the fonts now. So let's get into this now. Oh wait, I need user profile. So let's really quickly create that. So to do that, I'm going to use I'm going to put it down here. So I'm going to do an ellipse. It's E if you want to use ellipse. Create a little circle for myself. And I have an image of me here. So I'm going to just get this, drag it right into it. And look at that. Really easily, I have a cropped image. So it does it for you. So Adobe XD is really smart in that way. So go ahead and remove that. Get one of these. And say like, hey, good morning. Good morning, Julian. So that'd be nice, like to have a little greeting when you wake up, right? All right, so let's style this a little bit more, right? Get this, maybe I want it full bleed here. And so like half of this, oh, there's another thing I wanted actually. I wanted to put weather. And I'm using this background, if you notice your file, this background image is like I want this to have like a rounded edge when I export it. So I'm just keeping that there. So I'm gonna lock that. Command L to lock items, which is really important. All right, so let's style this up. So I'm using my typefaces for this. Feel free to explore the typeface realm of possibilities. They're endless. I like mixing serif and sans serif. So just for me, just like aesthetically what I like to see sometimes, depending on the project. So I'm gonna do Fira Sans for my sans serif, and for my like fancy serif fonts, I'm gonna use Abril, an Abril display. So this is gonna be something I need to see, because I need to see the date. When I look at calendars, my biggest struggle is just like, I need to know the date I'm in and the day. So depending on your use and what you like calendars for, what you need to see, definitely create it in your own way. And if you also want to see this on a mobile app, you can. You can change the medium. I'm just doing iPad. So that's for me. Like, I would want, like when I mock this up, I have a specific way I was kind of envisioning this being. So I'm also going to be using the sphere sans for like subtitles. So like being able to know the upcoming events, and then Apple Display again for my upcoming events. All right, so like, what do I got to do? Let's see, 12 p.m. Let's see what I'm doing. Little line, lunch with, oh, I'm gonna have lunch with my friend today. So Uriel, there you go, lunch with Uriel. Group that. So now, I'm not gonna get too fancy using my other tools. But pay attention to what this little cool thing is, a repeat grid. If you haven't seen it, it's one of my like most used tools. You just drag and things are just like amazingly beautiful, like right for you. So that's pretty cool. But I also don't always keep it that way. I like to ungroup it. So if you ungroup it, you can make changes. If I were to keep it, you would just, all those changes would cascade across all of them. And I don't really want that right now because I want to change these colors. Because one of the things about calendars, this is like an overview. So it's mixing your calendar types. And that's okay in this situation. But if you had like more developed system, you'd want to be able to like choose what type of calendar you're viewing, and like we just don't have time for all that. So like I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna do that. All right. And this is 2 p.m. What do I gotta do it to? Maybe I have a client work deadline. So client deadline. And just so you know too, like there's a lot of usually don't jump into high fidelity this fast, but this is the challenge, and this is what we're doing in this day. So if you have a project that you're working on, you know, it could take longer. So if you, I would hope that you do this quickly, but take your time if you want, because this is really important to learn part of the process. So what's 3 p.m.? Okay, I gotta actually go see my daughter's school. She's starting kindergarten, and I'm just really excited to see her school. So I gotta take a tour of it, and that's happening. So she's growing up fast. She's 5 years old. And all right, now what's the last thing I gotta do? Let's see, 7 p.m. I'm gonna have dinner at, let's see, make it a little, 6:13, sure. Dinner with wifey. We're gonna go on a date tonight. All right, and this is a subtitle. So I have kind of already created quite a few things here. Luckily I did this, but like what I also wanna have you think about is like tailor this to what you want it to be. So if you like photography, if you like, what do you like seeing in the morning? You put that there. Anything. I had an image that I pulled in again from, let's see here, which one was it? Oh, you know what I was using? Another app. So if I went to like plugins, say, there's other plugins you could find. Oh, also the calendar plugin. We're gonna demo that right now. So sorry to distract, but there's not too much time. All right, so we're here. We did this. We did the month view or the day view, or sorry, the default state. What's the next state? We want to use calendar. All right, so I'm just gonna. So one of the things that I like to prepare for is potential animations. So if I were to actually get this file, this artboard, and just group everything, maybe give stuff a padding on the right side. Let's see, where's the right side? Right side, there it is. Go out there, go a little bit further. So I'll tell you why. When I prototype this, if I get this and drag it over here, have some space to keep it on there, and then just you'll see what I'm gonna do with that. What I do want to do with actually this is keep that there. All right, and then I want to hide this, hide that. hide that, hide that. And these are going to be hidden. So let's just do 0% opacity. I know this seems a little strange what I'm doing, but you'll see what I'm doing in a second. Let's see. These actually. Yeah. All right. So I want to keep those buttons there. I also want to keep this on this side. Yeah, so I'm going really fast, guys. So if you have any questions, please, yeah, shoot them in. It looks like Tim is just holding it down right there. Thanks, Tim, for your help. All right, so now I need to create a calendar. So I could use a calendar plugin, and that is using the plugins tool down here on the bottom left. And you can kind of make a calendar based on like specifics of what you want. So width, height, all that good stuff. So you can make a calendar. And let's see where to go. Oh, I need an artboard first. So select that, and then it puts it there. So it's not like the best calendar for what I'm looking for, but it's something to start with if you're looking for it. It also gives you all the date layouts that you need. But then you're going to be able to. I have one that I already made, so I'm gonna access that from here and put it there. And so what this does is now I have a cool calendar. Right? Look at that. That. All right, so I got some stuff happening there. Maybe we want to hide this. So we got more of the calendar developed. So there's one more thing. I wanted to be able to do a split view, which I can, but I don't know how much time I'll have to complete it. So let's try. So I've already kind of sized this up to let. So I used responsive resize and some just making it work. So I can actually like shift this around. There's a little bit of a discrepancy with the Saturday, but that's okay. I can just kind of shift it over and just kind of give you a sense of like what that can do. So if I went from this artboard to this artboard and I just connected it with a auto animate, 3 seconds, sure. See that? It's like a quick little response. Maybe it looks better slow. I really like prototyping, so I'm always going to stress that like there are ways to get it. So I will probably upload something that's more of a split view later, but maybe I can do it now. Let's see. Because I want to finish this. So I'm going to put it over here on this side. And then all this content that I had that I was hiding, I'm going to bring that back. Where is it? All right, all that stuff's coming back. So that looks cool. All right. That's kind of what I was thinking, to be able to have content that brings it back. And then, oh, I didn't put the weather. That's okay. We'll do that in another time. But I mean, I pretty much have a completed design. So it's time to export that. I might not be able to export it all for you, but let me show you what it's like to submit something to Behance. So I have my final projects, but pretty much like you're going to be able to upload those to the Behance page. But I think it's about time for me to exit. So I'll share this with you guys in Discord, and I'll post it on my Behance so you can check it out. But for me, that's how I use Content Aware. That's how I like to see my calendars respond. And I think it's going to be really great to see what you come up with. Can't wait to see. And day 2, I got another really cool project lined up for you. So come back, please. Stay tuned. Keep working on your designs, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for coming.